Hey guys, I'm back. Yep, we're back in the kitchen again. Sorry it took so long. I started adding up all the time when I had to can and process and freeze everything from the gardens. It was about 5 months worth of work of continually chopping, slicing, dicing, cooking from, gosh, I did salsas to jams to freezing everything I could in the garden, and it's serving me well because I really don't ever go to the grocery store. I get my eggs local, I get my milk local, and I'm not walking into a very scary grocery store right now, so that's fantastic and I love it. So today we're going to start out with a fun thing. We're going to make what's called peanut butter blossoms, and it is peanut butter cookies with Hershey's Kiss stuck in them. So that's where I'm heading right now. But before I do that, I just want to kind of tell you what we were going to do after that, because I just wanted to show you what it starts with. I'm going to do homemade chicken soup for dinner. So we have a dessert and we have dinner here. And I just wanted to show you that, yes, here I am. I started with my chicken. I had a roasted chicken the other day, see? And all I'm going to do is just take this roasted chicken over here and I'm going to fill it up with water to cover the chicken, which I'm sure hopefully you can see it from here. It's hard to be videoing on my own because I'm not sure exactly what you're seeing. I'm going to add just enough water to cover the top of the chicken, and I'm going to let that boil for like a half an hour at the most. The two things it serves is it gets all the chicken off the bone, and I'll show you what we do with it later on when we make our soup. That's not going to be in this video. And it also makes some broth for you, so you have some natural homemade chicken broth, not just stuff that you get in the can. So here we go. Enough to cover the chicken carcass, as you can see here. And then after we're done with the cookies we're making, I am going to put that on the boil. And I am going to, like I said, boil it. Rapid boil, I don't do high, but medium-ish. Rapid boil it for, not like high rapid boil, but boiling it to, and you'll see when everything comes off the bone, and then we'll pick through it later on, so that'll be fun. What we're doing is a good old-fashioned peanut butter blossoms. I did peanut butter blossoms this Christmas, but I didn't do the actual peanut butter blossom recipe that comes from the Kisses. So I didn't roll mine in sugar or do anything like that. It was a different recipe. It was actually a peanut butter cookie recipe that you roll out and cut them, and I did not roll out and cut them in the end. I just put them on the cookie sheet and bake them and then put the candy kisses in them. But I thought if you wanted to know the real authentic peanut butter blossom, the recipe's about the same as far as the ingredients goes, but here's the authentic Hershey's Kisses recipe for it. So here we go. I'm going to go get you over by the, as usual, over by the mixer. I hope you can see into there. I hope I can pull you up high enough that you can, whoops, there we go. You can see into there now, right? Yep, there you go. Okay. So we're going to start with 1/2 cup of shortening, which I had already, so you don't have to see me fill that up. I had already filled up the 1/2 cup of shortening. Container, I always use Crisco, but you can use anything you want. I'm just a Crisco girl. It's one of the things, you know how I am sometimes a snob about certain ingredients. The next ingredient is 3/4 cup. They use Reese's creamy peanut butter. They say when you're making these blossoms, the best thing to do is to use Jiffy because it's a little bit greasier. It's it's not so dry. But I love to use, because you know me, gild the lily. I'm going by the recipe, but I can't just go totally by a recipe. I have to go off on my own a little bit. I love Peter Pan, honey roast, and crunchy. I'm not using smooth. In the recipe, it is 3/4 cup of smooth peanut butter. I'm using crunchy because I like that extra little texture in the cookies. These are going to be for us here, not to be sold or given away like I did all of the ones this Christmas. So this is going to stay here. And I do like that extra little crunch of, so I'm going to go in with 3/4 cup of the crunchy peanut butter. I just want to get you back on there so that you can see inside the bowl. There you go. Oops, there we go. All right, so here we go, 3/4 cup, and it is crunchy. And Peter Pan is a little bit drier, so if we have to deal with that later on, I have some nice little oils here that can we can put in here to make it a little bit creamier. But we'll see how it goes when we mix it all up to see if that not using just going to make a difference for us. So there's our 3/4 cup. And we are supposed to beat those two together until well blended, which I forgot to put my paddle on here. Actually, to be honest with you, I don't usually put my paddle on until the ingredients are in because I hate working around the paddle. It drives me crazy. So it's the only thing about the KitchenAid that drives me crazy is having to work around the paddle when you're putting ingredients or when you're trying to use a spatula and cream something. Here we go. In it goes. I'm going to stop here, lift it up, use my spatula to see if I can make sure it all comes off the side. Whoops, I knocked you over a little bit, sorry. It all comes off the side there. Here we are. Yeah, just, I can see that it's not completely, see my fingers got hit on the, it's hard about using it when the paddle is on there because you kind of get stuff sometimes on your fingers, sometimes who knows, you get things kind of mixed up. I like to take it off, but I can't always take it off to add stuff because most of the time whenever you're taking it off of there, stuff drips down in there and makes a heck of a mess. So I'm going to keep going here just a little bit longer. There we go. I don't want to break up that crunchy peanut butter though, because that is going to be such a wonderful appeal. Now, because this isn't drippy and everything, I'm going to take this off for a minute so I can add more ingredients and it won't be a heck of a trial. I'll take off what's lingering on it here and put it aside for a minute. Okay, what's next is 1/3 cup of sugar, regular white sugar. So, as you know, all my stuff's right here in the baking center. 1/3 cup of white sugar. In it goes. And then I'm going to go 1/3 cup of packed brown sugar. Then we're going to mix those two sugars in. Boy, I'm making a lot of noise. You can't see what I'm doing, but what I'm really doing is just getting all these ingredients out. I didn't have these measured ahead of time. There we go. 1/3 cup it is. Let's beat those into there. And I gotta beat them till fluffy, and then I'm gonna add my egg. So we'll put you back on here. There we go. Here we are. All right. Do a little side scraping again. The only thing about this is the side scraping is hard. See how I have to kind of get her. It positioned itself when it stopped pretty good this time. I can get on the right hand side, but sometimes it stops right in my way, and that's never very good. Oh, it feels awful creamy though, but I got to make it fluffy. So it's creamy, but not fluffy yet. And I can still feel those nice little peanut pieces that are going on here. So that is fantastic. Okay, so here we go. I want it to be fluffy. Perfect. Whoops. I looked it up, but it was still going because I'm using my only one hand. There, can you see inside there? Yes, you can. So the next ingredient is supposed to be the 1 egg. Now I'm going to stop you on there for a second and have you look up at me. Sometimes eggs aren't easy to get local. So there is many versions of whole eggs. And I thought, because a lot of people are getting these food boxes, I thought I'd show you how simple and easy it is to use eggs while baking. I have eggs in my refrigerator. Like I told you, I do get local eggs from around here. As a matter of fact, the eggs in my refrigerator right now come from my beautiful sister Shyla. She has got maybe 20 chickens or something, and they're hysterical. Her chickens are so funny. But she gave me 2.5 dozen eggs just before the Christmas party I had with my kids so that I would have enough, because we did a breakfast, and I did. But I wanted to show you how easy it is to use this, because some people that got the food boxes, the USDA one, said, oh my God, I don't know how to use it. I don't know when to use it. For me, if it was me that was going to get it, somebody gave me one of these to use in my cooking show so people could see. But if I was to get one on my own, it's easy to know that 3 tablespoons, I Googled it on the internet and they said 4 tablespoons, but if you look on the side of this package, it'll say 3 tablespoons equals 1 egg, and it continues to go on. 3 eggs are 2/3 cup. A lot of recipes take 3 eggs, so they're making it really easy for you. Don't be afraid. This is whole eggs. It's actually liquid whole eggs. The only thing they've added is with citric acid. So it is pasteurized. There are dates on them. The date on here is February 21st, 2021. A good long range date. You're good for this. But I want to show you how easy it is to use this. And it is a good product. And I think the person that gave it to me, which I don't want to out because that means that they get a box and you don't need to know they get a food box. But I thank the person that gave me this to be able to show this to you, because I want to make sure people know how easy it is to use this product. So I'm going to grab my, it's a hard carton to open though for some reason. I'm not sure what that's all about. So I'm going to use my, it's a 1 tablespoon but 4 teaspoon thing, because it's a little bit more than a tablespoon when you use this. And I know I Googled it and it said 4 tablespoons equal an egg, but on here it says 3, so I'm going to go somewhere in the middle. So I'm just going to, oops, I almost dropped the container. I'm literally going to, oops, let me go down here where you can see what I'm doing, obviously. Sorry about that. I'm literally just going to pour 3 of these, which again is like a little bit more than 1. 1, 2, and you just see that rich orange color. All it is that it's already mixed up. The eggs and the yolks and the whites are already mixed up. Obviously you can't use this for anything. If there's ever a time when you need to have the yolks and the whites separated, that's not going to work. But for recipes like this, easy peasy. See how easy that was. And you know, I mean, sometimes you just can't get. And the other thing I got, let me go off cue for a second here if I can find it quickly. When Sunny was in New York City, I have to find it somewhere up here, maybe. When Sunny was in New York City and she couldn't get out or get anything fresh, I bought this egg replacer. I haven't used it yet, but I'm thinking of some recipes that we can use so I can teach you how to use the egg replacer. Because sometimes you just don't want to go to the store. I know, I get it. And if you've got this and you've got powdered milk that you can add water to, you've already got your milk and your eggs. Are they fresh? No. But are they milk and eggs? Yes. And also remember, at any time, let me go get a can to show you, at any time, sorry for leaving the frame for a minute, but this is always, like if you're in a pinch and you need milk really fast and you don't want to go to the store. Evaporated milk, same thing. I mean, you can use this just as well. So there are some, and I'm sure you know what I mean by dry milk, right? I'm sure that you guys all know. I have a bag here somewhere. Not sure where I put it. I have a bread machine. I have a bread machine and it says to use dry milk, and it literally is a bag of dry milk, and the directions for how to hydrate that are on the bag. But I don't want to keep leaving the frame like this to show you. Maybe I'll do it another day when I'm actually using it. I'll show you what it looks like. So we've got our egg product in here now, and we are just supposed to beat that, and then we'll work on our flour products. So we'll get this all beat up. Whoops, went a little too fast. That's what you get for using one hand. Every time I use one hand, something goes silly. I'm using one hand because I'm manipulating the camera with the other one. There you go. I'm just going to scrape off the sides again. See how it's in my way this time? When it finished, it ended up in my way. So it's hard to scrape this time, but that's okay. Look at the nice rich color in here though. This is a fun recipe. I could still feel the peanut butter crunchy pieces, so you have not obliterated them. Everything is good. So I'm just gonna, oops, just hit the camera putting that down. I wish Tim was here, but I'm glad he's at work because that means we have income. Okay. Doesn't need much anymore. Perfect. All right, so I'm going to take this off again for just a minute because I do need to add flowers to it, and it's really becoming hard to add stuff to it when it's in my way. So I'll just do this for a minute. We're going to put it back on when we go to beat again. But now we need to put together our flowers. Okay, our flour, I should say, not flowers, our flour. So we are going to go with, and I'll go down here where you can see what I'm doing. Move all you guys out of my way here. Womp womp. Okay, I need 1 1/2 cup of flour. Push you back here. Yep, there you go. Oh, here's the 1. And I've already used the 1/2, so I'll use the 1/4, and I'll just do it twice. So 1 1/2 cup of flour, right there, 1. And there's a 1/4. Sometimes there's math involved when you're cooking. It's not a big deal, just sometimes there's math. And there's the other 1/4, which makes it a 1/2. Okay, 1 1/2, there you are. And then 1 teaspoon of baking soda. We all remember that I keep my baking soda in a container like this because its job sometimes is to take flavors from other things. So I keep it closed up. There's 1 teaspoon, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, which is over here. Oops, that's my teaspoon. There's my 1/2. Oh, it's got peanut butter all over it now. There we are. 1/2. I hope everybody had a good Christmas so far, and we're all looking forward to New Year's, I'm sure, to get this 2020 out of our way. So there's your 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to put everything together, and it says to stir these together and then gradually beat it into the peanut butter mixture. So I'm going to turn around. Here we go again. Next to the pan over here. There we are. Flip it if I can. There we go. The flour in. We're going to start beating it again. It says gradually, so I'm not doing the whole thing at the same time. It did say gradually. So I'm going to put the beater back on. Sometimes I think it's just easier to use my handheld beater. But, I don't know. I really love this machine. Oh, Tim got me some amazing attachments for Christmas. I can't wait to show you what they do. Chelsea Belial told me all about these attachments she had for doing apples and stuff, and I almost choked her when she was telling me because, you know, you guys all know that I cut, split, did apples for, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks, easily possibly 4, until I did all my stuff in the freezer and got my pies together in the freezer and everything. And then she comes along and tells me about this great attachment to here, so I can't wait to show you that attachment. I got it for Christmas. All right. I'm going to keep adding it in. So it's all in there. Hear it slowing down. I'm going to have to do some scraping. Hold on. Which means I'll have to move this up. And see, it's not sticking anymore. So I'm going to pull this off and get all my peanut butter stuff off of here. See how the consistency has changed quite a bit. So yeah. I had so much fun baking for Christmas. I did 20 dozen of my grandmother Austin's filled cookies for Christmas. So for everybody that wanted some, there was 20 dozen. And the fillings ranged from date and mincemeat, raspberry, blueberry, strawberry, strawberry rhubarb, triple berry, blackberry, a lot of fillings. There was a huge demand for my grandmother's cookies this year. And so I think that took all told 3 days. The cookie itself to make, the filled cookie, is a 2-day process because you have to make the batter and it has to set, because it has sour cream in it, it has to set in the fridge for 24 hours before you can manipulate it and roll it and fill it and all of that stuff. So yeah, it's quite a process. Okay, so as you can see, our dough got really stiff, and I think it's going to be fine. I just want to pick up all the flour on the bottom that the mixer has not really mixed in. You can see there's still some sitting there on the bottom, so I'm just trying to work it in. I have to do this with my sugar cookies and filled cookies too. You have to kind of pick it up from the bottom there. But if you're looking closely, you can see those wonderful peanut crunch pieces that are in that awesome crunchy peanut butter. So there you are. It's all mixed. You can see when I go like this, there's no more sitting on the bottom. It's all incorporated. So the next step is I will take this bowl and you over to the other, over to the stove. And what I'm going to take with us is about a 1/3 cup of sugar in a bowl like this. So I'm just going to take, it says a 1/3 cup is about what we'll use, so not a big deal. Because these cookies, because I'm doing the authentic one, I'm going to roll them in sugar. The ones I did for Christmas, I didn't roll them in sugar, but if you're doing the real Reese's peanut butter, you know, peanut butter blossom recipe, they want you to roll it in sugar. But it does say on there that it is optional. So I'm going to take this dish and this, and this is what we're going to use. It's supposed to be 1-inch balls, and so this is what we're going to use to make them. We're going to roll them. We're going to make them in this. I'll show you with my hands over here. I will wash my hands again for like the 10th time today already. And because I'm going to be manipulating these, I kind of got my hands dirty with the mixture already, cleaning off the spatula, but I'm going to wash them anyways because I'm going to be manipulating the whole cookie. If I was cooking for someone else other than myself, through this recipe, I would be having gloves on. I actually have lots of gloves that I got a couple of boxes of them, and I use the disposable gloves so that if I am manipulating somebody else's product that I'm selling, or you know, I have to like physically clean off with my hand, or because I can't get to it with a spatula, I wear plastic gloves, the surgical gloves for that. But since these are my cookies for Tim and I just figured it's okay to do it for him and I. So I just want to kind of mention that so you didn't think that I was one of those kind of messy kind of cooks that, oh, that's kind of gross, I don't want to buy anything from her. Well, that's not the way I do it for other people. So there you go. Here's our cookie sheet. It is 375 is what our oven is. 375. These cookies are going on a sheet pan that is not greased. So ungreased cookie sheet. And this is all you do. Oh, so I gotta wash my hands again. Sorry about that. There we go. All right. So these are super simple, quick, very few ingredients. If you hadn't noticed, not a lot of ingredients. So here's our sugar. I'm gonna push the pan over a little because you can see the pan from there. Here's our sugar here. I just wanna, there we are in our frame. So I'm going in and I'm just grabbing, you know, filling up the scoop here, and I'm going to actually make it into a ball because they want it into a ball. It's in a ball except that it has a flat bottom. Normally when you do cookies, you take it and you invert it and it always has a flat bottom. These guys want it made into a ball. And roll it in sugar and put it down. That is as easy as this recipe is. Wicked easy, wicked simple. Actually, I don't even have to really make it into a ball. I can still have the flat bottom. Actually, it's not going to make a difference. So the only thing I would say after this, and you're going to bake it for 8 to 10 minutes. 8 to 10 minutes or until lightly brown. Now, the one thing I want to say to make this recipe go perfect is you don't want to screw up the placing of the kisses. That is essential to getting it right, because you want them to all plunk in there and stay in there. And I wish I had a batch coming out of the oven so I could show you. What's going to happen is these cookies are going to naturally go down a little bit, but they're not going to go down all the way. They're not going to be flat when they're done. They're going to have some nice round consistency to them. They'll be about this big, but they'll be round and they'll be thicker. And what you do is you just place your kiss right down the middle of it. But the thing to make sure the timing is perfect is it says that you need 48 of these. I don't usually put out the whole 48. I know that 12 of them go on my cookie sheet at a time. So I count out 12. 2, 4, 6, 6, 8, 10, 12. So I count out my 12, and when I put my 12 of them in the oven, I immediately open all 12 of these and have them sitting right here, right beside where the cookies come out, because I'm going to have a cooling rack sitting right here. These will be sitting here, but they'll be opened so that you can immediately, as they come out, just plop, 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 one on top of each other, because if you don't do them right off, they won't stay in there and they'll come off and it doesn't work just right. So make sure that you open your candy kisses. My thing is, every time I put a platter of cookies in, I just open the kisses. They say it makes 48. I don't bother to open them up ahead of time in case maybe mine don't make quite 48, or maybe mine make more or something like that. So that's how easy that is. Bake 8 to 10 minutes until lightly brown. Bring them out. Put the kiss in the top of each one. Then after you put the kiss in the top of each one, I wait a minute or so till it settles in, and then I move them to a cooling rack. I know if I move them too soon, they're still a little fragile, and I've had them break apart. So I wait a minute or two till they settle in with that chocolate kiss in the middle, and they kind of conform to their new shape with the chocolate kiss in them. So maybe a minute or two, and then I take them off and put them on a cooling rack. So it's that easy. I'm so glad to be back here. I've had a lot of people say, oh, where are you? We miss you. We miss doing this with you. We are in the middle of the second, some people say third, wave of coronavirus, and I've got so much more fun for you. Tomorrow I would like to do some bread. I was thinking of pumpkin zucchini bread or something fun like that, because I've got a freezer full of both pumpkin and zucchini. If there's any, again, as I always say, if there's anything you really want to be seen cook, put it in here. Let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep picking the things myself. I'll try to keep going back and forth from dessert to meal or whatever. The soup this afternoon we're going to do is going to be fun. And it's different every time, so, and I'll explain that when we're actually making the soup. So good to be standing here with you guys. Good to start being in the kitchen again. I've never stopped being in the kitchen, to be honest with you, because, you know, that's what I do. But it's good to be back on camera in the kitchen. And I hope to maybe get Tim to start videoing us a few times too. But if not, we'll just have to kind of do it together. Thanks. Bye.